Who's to your left there, Dewan?
TJ Lux, one of the predominant figures of the region, Northwest Indiana, legend.
How's that feel?
It's a little much, but I appreciate it.
We got two pretty good radio voices right there on the screen.
Hey, maybe a co-host someday, maybe in the spring or summer, get away from his busy schedule and talk to our audience.
It's well over 13 feet of length behind the studio here. Two of the tallest guys ever behind this thing. And if you want to watch them, just go to JED TV, presented by Albert's Diamond Jewelers. TJ, you're a businessman now, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess you could say that for sure. Own a couple of businesses, but certainly keep pretty connected to the basketball world and the basketball community, no doubt.
TJ, just give us your resume. I know it, and I could give it, but tell us. Somebody new comes into the region, or a basketball fan. They're like, man, I think I know that name. Who is that dude?
Sure. No, I appreciate it. I grew up I started growing up in Hammond, just down the road a little bit. Moved to Maryville and played high school basketball under the legendary Hall of Famer Jim East. Was very fortunate to be in a great program, great community. Had great ton of support, wonderful coaching, and fortunate enough to be on some very successful teams. Was a reserve, substitute, bench warmer, cheerleader on my sophomore year on a team that went all the way to the semi-state championship game. Was able to be around a lot of great players, Zach Wells, Dave Josephorsky, and Jamel Williams, kind of the leaders of that group for some of the old-time region people in here. And then my senior year, we were able, with Brett Fedak, another Indiana All-Star, Jamal Davis, who was a sophomore at the time, Joe Stavitsky, another really great player, went to the state championship game. Lost by a point to Ben Davis. Was fortunate after that to play college basketball at Northern Illinois. From there, had some very interesting experiences just from able to play in the NCAA tournament. We transitioned, played from in the old MCC with teams like Butler to play in the MAC with Ball State and some really high-profile players back when the MAC was turning out Sweet 16 teams every year. And unfortunately had a couple of injuries, had a couple stress fractures that cost me my senior year in college. Then I tore my ACL right before the draft, but was able to go and play overseas for just over 6 years. Came back to the region with always the idea of coming back, similar to both of you guys, right? Just understanding the region is home. But having all those great, wonderful experiences, returning back home to the region, opened a exercise center, personal training business, which eventually became part of a larger franchise called the Exercise Coach, and something that I work on the corporate side. We've grown and very proud of the fact that we've got about 130 locations open across the country, another 20 or so in Japan, and so work on the corporate side. I own a studio in Crown Point and also in Dyer. But then also very fortunate that as I was coming back simultaneously, Jim East, Janice Guilizi, the athletic director at Maryville, were kind enough to knock on my door and ask if I was interested in getting into coaching. And I was pretty focused kind of on getting away from the game, but that pull and that draw was just a little too much. And having the opportunity to be Jim East's assistant for a couple of years, then to be able to take over and be the head coach at Maryville for 9 years, it just continued really the blessings that I had with the game of basketball. I've been fortunate as a high school athlete, as a college athlete, as a professional athlete, and then as a coach, and now currently an assistant coach at Crown Point, to be around the game, to be around great people, great coaches, people who just want to help kids get better, understand the role and the place that sports and basketball has, and just been very fortunate and blessed. I've lived by the motto, I've learned by what you give to the game give back to you. And it's no different than life, but it really is encapsulated both as a player and as a coach, and just really cherish a lot of the time that I've had with the game of basketball.
Wow, that was pretty good. we didn't have to interrupt one time, Dewan.
No, we didn't.
He's
Not
got
at all.
it, man. And we're talking to TJ Lux. If you want to talk to him, 219-845-1100. Don't wait if you got any questions or you just want to say hi or whatever. So, you bring up a couple of legendary names. You bring up Jim East, and there's not. What can you say about his insistence on discipline? And I remember interviewing him once, and we were talking about discipline. I'm like, Coach, don't you turn some of these kids off with all this like old time Bobby Knight kind of stuff? And he's like, listen, you'd be surprised how much kids want discipline. And as soon as you roll that out, all of a sudden it attracts kids because, they want to fit in and they want to learn how to take orders and find a discipline within themselves. Talk about Jim East.
Yeah, we could spend lots of time talking about Jim East and just him as a person, him as a coach, what he believed in. Obviously people see the perception versus reality when it comes to seeing him on the sideline or how he would talk or coach hard. And even, listen, not everybody's going to have the best or the greatest what they feel experience in high school because of interactions with teammates and coaches and so on. But, Jim East came from a place where he was about you living up to his expectations. When he saw in you and the team what his potential was, he wasn't going to lower his expectation and coach down. He was always coaching up. And so it became, the physical aspect of getting through practices. It became the mental aspect of understanding what it took to win and who you were as a player. And yeah, you had to be challenged. And I think there was a lot of lessons, obviously, that I really took to that personally, and hopefully we're carrying on just myself as a coach, but transition as the head coach at Maryville, and also what Bo Patton's doing at Maryville now.
So you did coach at the high school level. Now you're assistant to Clint Swan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's that like?
It's fun. I mean, it's different. We've got a little bit different personalities, for sure.
That is an understatement, by the way.
But it's great. Clinton has had such great success. Has coached some awesome players, some great teams. And I think it's anytime that you can surround yourself with people that are a little bit different than you, and they bring out different skills and characteristics, and you can learn a lot. So I'm really looking forward to continuing to build on my experience last year and get into the season this year.
Talking to TJ Lux, and you guys are calling. Let me get through a couple other things, and we'll talk. By the way, Brian Dedelow?
Oh, yeah.
Maryville? Yeah,
Of
I'm sure
course.
you do. That he married my cousin. That's my cousin.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
right?
Cindy's my cousin, and now I know one of the Deliches is playing on.
That's
playing
right.
with Crown
That's right.
Point, and
Yeah, so
he's got an upside.
Yeah, well, Cindy, we grew up in the same neighborhood in Maryville, just down the street, and Brian was a high school teammate. So yes, know them very well.
He's got a nickname in the family, which I can't say on the air, and I'll just leave it right there. So you also brought up another name I want to bring up, and this is, Jim East and Clint Swan are intimidating enough, but perhaps the most intimidating person that you brought up is actually a female, and that's Janice Quiliza. We actually were talking about her yesterday, and I tried to convince a caller. I'm saying, Janice is very powerful in the entire state in high school sports, but she's really just a teddy bear and is a nice, funny person, and it just takes a little while, and you can't just be completely intimidated. But she has ruled Maryville athletics, and quite frankly, parts, being on the IHSA board and all that, she's made a huge impact on sports in the region. Talk about her.
You talk about an amazing person and an amazing leader. Everything that she's done and really spearheaded at Maryville. Just so many core fundamentals of who she is as a person, and then her impact on the coaches that she leads. And you talk about coaching up, coaching down with expectations, and there's a level of expectations that really does matriculate all throughout the entire staff, and that clearly has an impact on all of the students. And without, I still call her Miss Quiliza. She, you talk about the respect and everything, and the type of figure at Maryville she is. But when we came to Maryville, Miss Quiliza was around, and just seeing her being able to really lead, and that was the thing. Yes, she can be a teddy bear at times, but at the same time, she wants to learn. She wants to understand what you're doing as a program. She wants to understand the impact that you're having on the kids. and she's obviously all in with Maryville athletics and Maryville program, and love her to death.
Yes, and so do I, but she does give the aura, and people are sometimes afraid of her, and I'm like, listen, man. I told her one time, I go, I'm going to go on the air and tell everybody you're a teddy bear, and I never did it until just now. So, hey, we're talking to TJ Lux. Let's take a couple phone calls. You want to talk to TJ? 219-845-1100, and we'll go to this one right now. Hey, you're on the air. How are you?
Oh, yeah, Stan here again.
What's going on? You're on with TJ and Dewan. What's happening?
Hey, TJ, how you doing there?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Hey, tell me a little bit about how the Crown Point team's going to do this year.
Oh, the Crown Point basketball program. We're excited to get get going this year. Good combination of some upperclassmen, returning all conference player Drew Adzia, lights out shooter. He's a top 5 shooter in the state. His father Chris was a really good basketball player. Played at Bishop Knoll. Gave the old Gary Roosevelt team some tough times in the tournament, but tremendous family, and looking forward to being able to coach him. Matt Sedanowitz, you talked about Carter Delich, a couple of other senior guys that are looking to have a good impact. One of the fun opportunities for me is to be able to coach my son AJ out there on the floor and be a part of the high school tradition and play high school basketball. So really looking forward to that. So we'll see what happens. We get some other good juniors, Keaton Book, Lou Marico, Connor Cotton, all to make an impact. A little bit, some turnover from last year, but looking forward to the challenge of playing in the always competitive and rugged DAC.
The second best conference in America, in the state. I was talking to the guys out at IHSAA, and they said, well, the Carmel and the Ben Davis, that's really the best conference. I'm like, really? What about the Duneland? But anyways, go ahead, caller.
Hey, so I got a question, man. We talk about Northwest Indiana basketball, and I look at that coaching staff in Crown Point, and you mentioned the legendary Jim East that you come from. You got Clint Swan, and you picked up a new coach that probably people don't know about, but he spent several years under Hackett's regime. And tell me about the coaching staff. Is this maybe the best coaching staff in Northwest Indiana?
Watch. You know what? Hang up on this guy right now. We're done with him. Thank you for calling in. But you can't say that. And I agree. There's some – Hackett's got there's some really good coaching staffs. I know who he's talking about. Tell
sure. So really excited. Jake Argenta has joined the staff. Don't want to slight Mike Holubowski at Crown Point either, who's been there for a while and does a tremendous job with the JV team. But Jake Argenta. So Jake's a Maryville guy. Let's not get it twisted first and foremost. But Jake grew up in Maryville. I remember him. I'm a few years older than him, so coaching him just as he was coming up the ranks and watching him play high school basketball. Had a great high school, college career, and listen, you play for Jim East, and then you go and are able to coach with Mike Hackett and learn from him. Mike, another guy, obviously Northwest Indiana. I don't know if you, Rico, if you had 10 minutes, 12 minutes before Munster was going to come up on the call and Mike Hackett, but as the over/under. But I was fortunate. Just different influences in my life, and Mike Hackett was my JV coach at Maryville, longtime assistant. But has done a tremendous job building the program and was a big part of obviously the success at Maryville and that carryover what he's done at Munster. So Jake being a part of that staff, he brings tremendous experience and that toughness that I think that starts with Jim and continued with Mike and then also hopefully we'll see here at Crown Point.
Talking to TJ Lux. Now, TJ, tell us what Courtside is.
No, I appreciate it. So the opportunity to talk about Courtside is a basketball skills training facility that combines access and opportunity with also some athletic performance. That's kind of the big picture overview. As I mentioned before, the game of basketball has been very good to me. Just so many different experiences from a player, from as a coach. And so Courtside was always kind of like the project, the goal, the thing that I wanted to do to help in some way contribute to the fabric of Northwest Indiana basketball, if you will. It's just a place where we try to bring back. We've got a great team of instructors, from Mike McClusack, who graduated from Lake Central, Brandon Smith, who I was fortunate to coach at Maryville. We've got Ty Wilburn, also another LC grad, who helping out. Lisa Kurth, who played basketball at Crown Point, Illinois Benedictine. So we've got this great team of people who are committed to helping kids get better. And yes, we talk about skills training, but at the end of the day, it is about, we talk about get better and be great. And it's about the everyday grind or motivation to improve at whatever it is that you're doing, and then the long time goal of being great and being inspired to reach, to dream. My parents, it was like the two things all of the time. It was, you can be whatever you want to be, right? You've got to be able to set those goals, plan for that. But whatever you're going to do the best at what you can every single day. So those are the two things. Like those two, get better, be great, is what drives the vision of Courtside. And then, like I said, just the impact and the influence that being around the game of basketball, so many different people have positively impacted my career that I wouldn't be where I am today without them. So just trying to pay it forward and be a part of it all.
So where is Courtside?
Courtside is in Crown Point, 1440 East Joliet, just right off of 231 across from Legacy Field. So right off I-65 for everybody in this part of Lake County. But right there, we're always looking forward to having new people in there. But it's just a great place and great opportunity for hopefully Region Hoops.
Let's go to Bo on line 599. Bo, you're on with TJ Lux. What's up?
Hey, what's up, TJ? Hey, Jed, how you doing?
All right, man. How you been?
Good morning.
My guy.
I'm good. I just want to say, even though TJ left Maryville to go to Crown Point, I do want people to know that me and him are still great friends. I'm in full support of TJ. I worked at Courtside this summer. It's probably one of the best things in Northwest Indiana from a training perspective that we've had probably, if not ever, in a long time. Also just want to say, because I know TJ won, his son AJ Lux has a chance to be really special. And I didn't mention him on my last interview, and that was a big mistake. So now I'm worried when we play Crown Point. But AJ has a ton of skill. Crown Point will be good with Drew Azia, AJ Lux, and I just want everybody to know TJ's a great guy, doing great things, and I'm full support of TJ, although he's a Bulldog. And Jake, I guess. Those two Maryville guys going to Crown Point.
Hey, Bo, hold on a second, Bo. What does having skills training for your better basketball player, boys or girls, what does that do to the region, specifically the Maryville, Crown Point, Lowell area, in terms of the level of quality of play?
Oh, it for sure takes it up a step. I think it was one of the things that we were missing. Like you all mentioned, we have great coaches in our area. The Duneland is full of great coaches, and I'm on the very bottom of that totem pole. We have some great coaches that do great game plans, that take the time with their kids, that have been coaching for a long time too. You just can't replace that experience a lot of times. So when you add what TJ Lux is doing, and what a lot of guys in our area are doing, it just takes us up another level and prepares our guys for college.
All right, Bo, go ahead and hang up, and we'll take it from here. Thanks a lot. Bo, and you're not there anymore, and he is. You got to root against the purple and white. How's that going to go?
No, I can't root against the purple and white. It's just not in me. So obviously, Bo and I, we've got a pretty special relationship. Fortunate to. My first year back from playing overseas was Bo's senior year in high school. So I was around the program a little bit, not really in any type of role as a coach, but just checking in and being around practice. So I got to actually see him play in high school. The most surprising thing, I love hearing Bo's voice, and a great call. The Maryville Miracle didn't come up, but the half court shot that he hit, I know he's super proud of. But being able to, when he got done with his college career, and I remember the first time he called, just interested in getting into coaching and to what do you want to do, Bo? Like, what is your vision? How do you want to impact people and kids and what he's done and coming onto the staff and everything that, when I was the head coach, having him a part of the staff, it was just a great opportunity. Again, you talk about a guy who's got great skills, has grown and developed into an unbelievable leader, and the impact that he's having at Maryville now as the head coach. But we had, we talk about great staff at Crown Point. We had a great staff at Maryville, and that time that we had together with Bo and all the other coaches that I was able to have with me, Cliff Hughes, Brian Fogarty, Bojan Jovanovic, Mike Holden, with those guys and the team that we had, the players, the collection of players that we had, honestly, it changed my life. It impacted me tremendously and serves as a big inspiration to even, to go forward with something like Courtside. So Bo's a big part of that whole piece, and of course wish them nothing but the best of luck, and obviously when we play them, it's a little bit different.
It's a lot different, man. And that's got to be tough, man. Your kid's playing with you at Crown Point, right?
Yeah.
And so you guys, Crown Point plays Maryville. You're going red and white.
Yeah, it was AJ knocked down some shots against Maryville last year. We played the game at Maryville, and he's probably made more shots in that gym than any others. Just because growing up as a coach, he was always around and always with me, and so it was a fun game. It was a special game, and it's a fun rivalry. I think that makes sports what it is, right? Is the rivalries. So it'll be a fun game.
We're talking to TJ one day, probably. TJ Lux, I think I originally interviewed your dad years and years ago as a superintendent there in Maryville Schools. Now TJ's here. One day it'll be AJ sitting in the chair there, and I'll be a lot grayer than I am now. But DeJuan Marrero, you guys know him. He's with us for a while. I suggested to Bo Patton, I said, well, Bo, your message of leadership and self-discipline, that should be a podcast. It should be Bo and TJ, and you can make that happen. You put
That's
those
a good
guys.
deal.
That's a good podcast. But where's Indiana Game go? Where do you guys? Where's that situated?
Yeah, that was the question I was going to ask you, Coach. How important is it for Scott Schema and Indiana Game to use Courtside by Lux for the region?
No, appreciate it. So all of these pieces really just come together, right? And it's. You talk about the team and the high school aspect of playing competitively and understand what it's like. But then we've got the skill development, and that's where Courtside really is. We have to understand how improving skills impact, and it's individual skills, sure, but it's also how it really translates to winning basketball. And if you have the dream or have the goal of playing college basketball at the next level, well, there's certain skills and certain skill sets that you've got to develop, right? It's not about, creating these opportunities with 17 dribble combo moves and ISO at the top of the key, right? There's certain aspects of the game that need to be developed, right? And so we've got that, and then there's got to be the exposure opportunity, and there's got to be the opportunity to take what we've put together in Northwest Indiana, and we take the skill development and we combine it and we put it on a scale with Indiana Game, an AAU program led by Scott Schema, and where we're working with now teams from third grade all the way up through 17U, and you got to be out there playing a competitive situation in front of people who are trying to figure out, are you a college basketball player? Can you combine your skills in a team environment? And that's what it's all about. Having the long-term dream of playing at the next level, putting everything together from the skills, the opportunity, the team, and the exposure piece. So the idea of just really elevating, again, personally for me, if I wasn't given an opportunity after my sophomore year, before my junior year, to play AAU basketball, I don't know what would have happened. And Coach Pritchett and Lori Dust at the time, these were the girls coaches at Maryville High School. They may have said a word to Reggie Tisdale and Mike Goodwin, who were leading Region Force AAU basketball back then. And that guy gave me an opportunity. So now I'm playing with, Bryce Drew. Now my role, I'm playing with Bryce Drew, right? So I'm going to defend and I'm going to rebound. And whenever you want me to set a screen, you just let me know, right? I'm going to get you open. And so learning how to fit in your skill set and play those kind of roles, that's all part of the process. So having those kind of opportunities presented and given, that's certainly the long-term vision, and try to have this for Northwest Indiana for sure.
We're talking to TJ Lux and Juan Marrero. Now, let's talk about this season, and then we got to go to the head of the sportsmanship committee over here. John Doherty's right behind you, but he'll sit for a second and let us finish this up. What kind of energy do you have toward this high school basketball season on the boys' side? Who's going to stand out?
Well, it's always, I always start with the DAC for me. Just that's the conference that I'm most familiar with. But I think Chesterton is going to be really good. I think they've got the potential to be excellent. Coach Urban does a great job with this team. But they've got the high profile talent. Travis Grayson, he's going to be in the mix for Player of the Year in the area. And they just got a great group of guys who Urban always does a great job of getting guys bought in. But now he's also got a great level of talent as well, some size, some shooting, a little bit of everything. Obviously, Coach Kuhlman at Valpo, he's always got great pieces. He does a great job getting those guys to play well.
What about Larry Moore?
So Hammond, those guys, just unbelievable job. Just everything that he's done with that program, the accumulation of talent. And you talk about developing talent and really imposing his will through his team, and then obviously when they play everybody else, you got to be ready to go, and just an amazing job with the guys that he's had in that program and continuing to get better. And you talk about turnarounds and being a perennial power, not just in the area, but also making noise throughout the state. Big fan of what he's done and what he's been able to accomplish and get guys to buy in. That's what it's all about.
TJ Lux, anything else? Did we miss anything?
No, I think we hit everything
we got
perfect.
It. Juan Marrero will be on with Lucy after the next few guests that we have, and they'll play a little bit of this from TJ. If you want to watch it again, wait till we're done here and you go to Jed TV. TJ, anything else you want to say to people?
I just appreciate just the opportunity to be on here. Jed, everything you do for Northwest Indiana, you left, grew up here, left here, you came back. It's, you talk about the face and the voice of Northwest Indiana, WJOB, and everything that you guys do for not just Northwest Indiana, area sports, helping kids have the opportunity to be seen by family, friends, and promote them. It makes a huge difference. Those are memories that you guys are providing for a lot of young guys that doesn't often get talked about. But I can tell you, having been able to live through it, it's stuff that we still talk about today. So just very appreciative of you, of Northwest Indiana. I think we're all people who are from here, proud of here, and everything that we can do to support each other. I'm all about. So just thank you very much.
I was there in Indianapolis when Brett Fedak scored that last basket and put you guys within one, and everybody had to. I didn't think that in my entire life I was ever going to wear a purple and white sweatshirt, but I did that day to support the region, and I never thought that I would be pulling for Crown Point, but I'll be out and see a couple games now that Carter's playing with you guys, so you never know what's going to happen. Just like you never know that the Maryville purple and white, bleeding purple and white guy is going a little bit further south and is now has his kid on Crown Point and is coaching out there. Hey, you never know what's going to happen, man. But I'm looking forward to this season, especially that first Maryville Crown Point game.
Yeah, it'll be a good time for sure.
All right.
Rise and shine.
All right.
WJOB's Jim Dedelow starts your weekdays at 6 a.m. Jed in the region. And be sure to follow us on Facebook. WJOB, AM 1230 and 104.7 FM.